Well, breaking news, a huge loss in the music world. Stunning announcement, singer David Bowie has died at the age of 69. A look back at his amazing, unique career.
And the Washington State Legislature is back in session today. We have 6 issues that we're keeping an eye on straight ahead.
The Revenant.
And award season is underway in Hollywood. Who has momentum headed toward the Academy Awards? It's time to wake up the Q6 way.
Wake up, you gotta rise to the sun, and here it comes, it's time to make the best of what you got to give. It's all about rising, and I wanna be there.
6 a.m. on a Monday. We decided to get the band back together because I'm feeling better. Good morning to you. I'm Sean Housley.
Good morning, I'm Kalai Chalk with Leslie Lowe. We're all kind of on the mend, or at least you guys are.
Thanks for holding down the fort, Kalai. You're like
much.
the Iron Woman of KHQ.
Well, knock on wood.
Right. She'll be gone tomorrow.
Right. All right, Leslie Lowe, you described the day very accurately, but it was definitely in a way that I did not like. This day is going to be as gray as my dress. Ew.
It worked. I didn't mean for it to coincide with the weather, but it just kind of worked out that way.
Yeah. We're seeing a lot of gray.
Low clouds, fog again to start the day. 26 degrees right now in Spokane. So it's bundle up kind of weather. Mom, Dad, you know that when you send the kids off to the bus stop. Just a nice reminder. I hear from teachers from time to time that say, hey, could you remind the parents to make sure the kids have a coat on? So there's my reminder out this morning. Coats on the kids, gloves, hats, the whole 9 yards. 20 is still really cold out there. 28 degrees. Over in Coeur d'Alene, teens so for Lookout Pass up towards Kalispell, Libby, and Troy, Montana, 22, 9 degrees in Missoula. As far as daytime highs, 31 degrees. We do have some systems on the move. I'll let you know what that means for you when we see you back here in just a few minutes.
Right now on KHQ, breaking news.
And we are following major breaking news out of the music world this morning. Singer David Bowie has died at the age of 69 after an 18-month private battle with cancer.
And this morning, fans across the world are mourning his loss. His death was announced late last night on Facebook. His family posted a message saying he passed away peacefully following a private battle with cancer. He had just turned 69 and he had just released his latest album, Black Star, on Friday. He had several hits throughout his career, leaving behind a lasting legacy.
What did David Bowie do for this world?
Well, quite simply, he was one of rock's first self-conscious artists. He looked at everything he did as art, the way he dressed, the way he lived his life, his sexuality. He pushed boundaries all the time. And uniquely, he was an inspiration to people in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, constantly changing.
And because Bowie was private with his cancer battle, the news of his death did shock fans around the world. Coming up at 6:30 this morning, we're going to share some of the tributes that people are giving to him today.
Well, many people from around the world are remembering David Bowie this morning, and Nicole is putting together what we'll have that coming up at 6:30 this morning, a slideshow and some of his key moments throughout an illustrious career. Well, here in the Inland Northwest, Washington lawmakers head back to Olympia today with a list of issues to tackle.
And Cynthia Johnson is live this morning with 6 things that you need to watch for this session.
Good morning. Right now we know education is going to be a main priority, so that's why education is number one. We know right now that the 9 charter schools in the state of Washington, their fate is in the hands of legislators as they look to see what happens next after the state Supreme Court ruled them unconstitutional. Number 2 is prisoners. About 3,200 prisoners were released early because of a software glitch. Now legislators will have to work to make sure that doesn't happen again. Number 3 is firefighting. We know last year was a very busy season for firefighters, and now legislators are going to have to come up with more than $137 million in unpaid firefighting costs. Number 4 is the Real ID. Right now you can still use your Washington ID for the next 2 years if you're flying domestically, but after that legislators are going to have to work to make sure we are in compliance with federal laws. Number 5 is mental health. Right now we have a staffing shortage in the state of Washington, so the governor is going to be working to make sure that we can get more nurses and psychiatrists into our state. And number 6 is homelessness. We know that there are about 24,000 children in the state of Washington that experience homelessness every single year, so legislators are working to make sure they have the resources they need. Now we're going to be watching closely to see just how much these legislators get done this year. They have 60 days in this session. Sean?
All right, thanks very much, Cynthia. Well, new this morning, El Nino helping the snowpack in northern Idaho. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says averages are above normal for this time of year. Take a look at this map. Yellow represents snowpack that is average for this time of year. Green is more than the average amount. You see it predominantly there in the southern portion of the map. You see it in the Idaho Panhandle as yellow or green. Officials say with the numbers this high, this early, it is good news for the water supply this summer.
Also new this morning, lawyers in the United States will begin the long legal process to bring Mexican drug kingpin El Chapo back to the U.S. He's wanted on drug trafficking and murder charges. El Chapo, whose real name is Joaquin Guzman, was captured Friday after a 6-month manhunt. He's expected to fight extradition, but we do hear that El Chapo could be brought back to the U.S. as soon as this summer. In a strange twist to the case, investigators say they were able to track down El Chapo after he met actor Sean Penn for an interview for Rolling Stone. That interview was set up by Mexican actress Kate Del Castillo. Mexican officials say they want to talk to both actors about the meeting.
Well, bottled water right now is being rushed to the town of Flint, Michigan this morning to help people there dealing with a water crisis in the town. Drinking water drawn from the Flint River has been contaminated by lead. Residents, many who are low income, have been forced to buy bottled water. Officials are also warning residents there to make sure they test any drinking water before giving it to children. Lead can cause irreversible brain and developmental damage in children and infants who ingest it through water or lead-based paint. The water problem started 2 years ago when the city wanted to save money by pulling water from the Flint River, but the water is contaminated, leaving residents with few options.
I can't do nothing about it but continue to buy bottles of water with money that I do not have.
City of Flint has now switched back to getting its water from the Detroit River. In the meantime, it set up several water resource sites for residents.
Well, if you're a parent getting your kids ready for school this morning, listen to this next story. A substitute teacher is out of a job after she threatened to let a gunman shoot her 3rd grade students.
She would have the keys to their classroom to let someone in if they wouldn't calm down, to come in and shoot them in between the eyes.
This is apparently what a 61-year-old substitute told students. She had just completed training and was just a few hours into the school day. School officials say that the teacher was immediately sent home and will no longer be eligible to work in the district. At this point, it's not clear if the teacher will face any charges.
Well, this morning, The Revenant is an early favorite for the Academy Awards. It won big last night at the Golden Globes.
And this morning, there's plenty to talk about, everything from the winners to the one-liners, and Leslie is following the story for us.
And I'm so excited because I've DVR'd this, so I can't wait to go home and watch it. It got pretty rowdy last night in Hollywood. Let's take a listen to Ricky Gervais as he and his host abilities didn't pull any of the punches. Take a listen. Here's some of his one-liners.
I want to do this monologue and then go into hiding. Okay? Not even Sean Penn will find me. I'm getting paid exactly the same as Tina and Amy did last year for hosting it. No, I know there was 2 of them, but it's not my fault if they want to share the money, is it? That award is, no offence, worthless. It's a bit of metal that some nice old confused journalists wanted to give you in person so they could meet you and have a selfie with you.
Now, speaking of awards, the Reverend was the surprise winner of the night for Best Movie Drama, and Leonardo DiCaprio won for Best Actor for his role in the film, but the crowd favorite was Sylvester Stallone, who won Best Supporting Actor for Creed.
And most of all, I want to thank my imaginary friend, Rocky Balboa, for being the best friend I ever had.
Best Actress honors went to Brie Larson for the hostage drama Room. The Martian took Motion Picture Comedy honors, and its star Matt Damon won Best Comedy Actor. It's been 18 years since he won a Golden Globe. That was for Good Will Hunting. We can't forget the fashion. For a look at the best and not so best, we put up a slideshow on KHQ.com. Sean, Clay.
All right, thanks, Leslie. Well, soaring with the Seahawks this morning. Seattle planning for a huge matchup in Charlotte against the Carolina Panthers on Sunday morning.
And if somehow you missed it or you just want to see it again, this is the play that sealed the win.
Jeff Locke is the holder. McDermott is the snapper. And the kick is no good!
Vikings, still shocking. Missed the 27-yard attempt. Seahawks would run out the clock, win it 10-9 after the game. Head coach Pete Carroll.
I feel bad for their kicker, and missing the kick right there. But you do have to do all of that, and you have to execute it, just like our guy had to do too, and Hausch did it, and with John Ryan and Gresh and the guys that have to carry that out under the most difficult of circumstances.
And Pete Carroll still rocking the beanie that he wore all game. He looked cold, and that was really the story going into this game as well. The temperature at kickoff was -6 degrees below zero with a -25 wind chill, making it the 3rd coldest game in NFL history.
Yeah, and kickoff is now set Sunday in Carolina, 10:05 a.m. Coming up at 6:30, we'll tell you how much a trip to see that game in person could actually cost you.
It'll be a lot warmer.
Yeah, Charlotte,
a lot warmer.
Minneapolis, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, speaking of football, the Buffalo Bills cheerleaders want to raise money.
Want to raise?
Or they want to raise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're going to court for it. How much they want to be paid coming up in Fast Forward.
Plus, Chelsea McGuire's here from the BBB. If you thought about buying a timeshare, there is a new scam making the rounds. She'll tell you 4 ways to avoid getting ripped off.
First, though, the Playboy Mansion is up for sale. And besides the prices, there is one thing that comes with the property that will probably scare off a few buyers. All right, look at this. If you're thinking about a move to California, there's a house that you might check out, but only if you have a couple $100 million to spare. The Playboy Mansion is going on the market for $200 million. You get the mansion and all of its famous history, but there is a catch. The home comes with Hugh Hefner. That's right, the buyer gets to be roomies with Hef until he dies. Or more likely, you would buy it and then he would live there, and then eventually once he passes away, you'd do something with it. But it's way cooler to think about being roomies with Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, I was going to say, oh yeah, my roomie Hugh. You know Hugh. I just think it's funny that if you buy the mansion, you get Hugh Hefner.
Right.
That's funny.
Right, and we know so many people are dreaming about what they're going to do when they win the Powerball jackpot this week. Maybe, perhaps, you could buy Hugh Hefner. Good luck.
It could happen. We're saying there's a chance.
All right. Is there a chance for sunshine? That's what so many people want to know.
I think that's a tough call for today. We've got low clouds and fog as we kick things off. Freezing fog over towards western Montana. In fact, Missoula headed towards Lookout Pass. That's a slow-going area right now with visibilities reduced to less than 2 miles at this point. Also over towards Moses Lake, dealing with some visibility issues as well. Scattered snow showers as we head into late afternoon, early evening. We could pick up less than a half an inch. I'm not seeing anything too impressive out of this system. However, just enough to be inconvenient out there for the next several days, where we've got a roller coaster ride of weather. In fact, as we head right on through the weekend, we'll look for some active weather, rain, snow, you name it, we got it. Here's a look at our DOT cams. We are looking for an all clear sign right now out in Spokane. Visibility is not too bad, but we will look for the potential of a little bit of fog to creep on into the area. That also means some slick spots along the area roadways, especially those secondary roads. And the worry spots for me are always like Bigelow Gulch down 5 Mile, also down Argonne Hill, just slow going conditions there, also South Hill. Temperatures right now 24 degrees in Spokane, upper 20s in Coeur d'Alene, 30 degrees in Sandpoint. We've got low to mid 30s all the way across the east slopes of the Cascades. It's over into Montana. We're seeing the coldest temperatures on the map, single digits in Missoula as we speak. Here's a walk through our future cast into this afternoon, and you can see those changes as we head towards noon. Band setting up over central Washington. In fact, we've got a little bit of freezing rain out here from the Columbia Basin all the way back through the Yakima Valley. It doesn't look too significant, but just a little bit of freezing rain on the roadways could cause some major problems. So this will be something we'll watch throughout the remainder of the day. By about 3 o'clock, we start to see that band push through again. Light flurries along with that, scattered snow showers continuing through this evening. And for tomorrow morning's commute, I would expect mainly cloudy skies, and once again that fog going to be a concern. Another system on the move though as we head into tomorrow night. That's because we've got them lined up out here in the Pacific as high pressure breaks down and we allow for these systems to move in to the area. Planning forecast, plan on this. The conveyor belt is underway. The wettest day looks to be Wednesday. We'll get a bit of a break so far on Friday. But as we head into the weekend, we'll look for another round to push in. Again, very light accumulations of snow are expected. All right, Sean, over to you.
Thanks very much, Leslie. We're here at 6:17. Chelsea McGuire from the BBB joining us live on this Monday morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You guys are seeing something new circulating right now. What information you want to get out to people to look out for?
We've been getting reports about this company claiming to be in the Coeur d'Alene area. and they are soliciting people who own timeshares in Mexico. And so these people, they already have this timeshare, it's a legitimate consumer, and this company, All Business Consultant Services, they offer to buy it from this person for more than the face value of it. So it sounds like a perfect transaction, but unfortunately, we are really concerned that they're asking for up to $4,000 up front for Mexican government taxes, which is not legitimate, which isn't a real thing, and a lot of people have already paid this money. And
I could see what the hook would be, because people maybe have had a timeshare for a long time, said, you know what, we never use it.
Absolutely.
It's a great opportunity to recoup some of our money, and then they go, and that's where the snag happens.
Exactly, and so they pay this money and then they can't get a hold of the company. So it's a very risky scheme, because we're not sure that this is a legitimate company at all. We're fairly certain it's a scam, but these people really do have the timeshare, so somehow they got a list of very willing and open consumers who would like to sell it.
All right, so what do? You have a couple of key guidelines to follow to make sure that if you are going to unload your timeshare, you do it legitimately and you don't get scammed.
Exactly. If you get solicited, or if you are interested in selling your timeshare, especially if it's another country, seek legal aid. Overseas sales are very tricky, so you want to make sure that you are following rules, guidelines, and laws. And then if you're asked for fees up front that are over a couple $100s, that is an immediate red flag, especially if they're asking you to wire transfer that money.
Yeah, on the red flags, you say typically an escrow company service fee will range from $300 to $500 plus any additional third-party fees. A business should not seek any fees until after a deal closes. So they're trying to get those fees up front. It should happen at the very end of the entire transaction.
Exactly, and especially when they're calling them taxes for the Mexican government, that's going to trick people, because they don't necessarily know what those fees and taxes are going to be for another country. So that's where you really need to seek out legal counsel, especially if you're being solicited by an outside company. You know, do your research. This company is very, very uneasy for us at BBB, so we want to make sure that you do your research before you hand over any of your money.
How long have you seen this happening in our community?
You know, we've heard reports for the last month or so,
Okay.
But I had a lot of calls over the Christmas break of people that had just wire transferred $4,000 and had just seen the article. So I want to make sure that if you know somebody who has a timeshare somewhere else, that they are aware these solicitations may happen.
All right, Chelsea, thanks for being here. Some great information to protect people out there. Thank you. Kalai, over to you.
All right, thank you, Sean. Let's fast forward to the headlines happening later today. The Supreme Court will hear arguments today on union dues. The justices will be asked to decide whether state government workers who choose not to join a union can still be required to pay a share of union dues to cover the cost of negotiating contracts. The ruling would affect public sector unions in 23 states where they have a duty to bargain for both members and non-members. Cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills want a raise, and they're going to court to get it. A judge has given the women a go-ahead to sue the team. The NFL teams have considered them independent contractors and not employees. As a result, they weren't entitled to certain wage and workplace rights. And mark your calendar, the next free days at Washington State Parks are this weekend, January 17th and 18th. No Discover Pass will be required to park a vehicle at the state park next weekend in honor of Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. In 2016, state parks will have 12 free days. The first one was January 1st. Well, coming up next, in the next 15 minutes of the Wake Up Show, tributes to David Bowie continue to pour in from around the world. We'll share them with you. Plus, if you want to cheer on the Seahawks this Sunday against Carolina, stick around. We've looked up how much it will cost for you to go. We've included airfare, a hotel, and tickets. We'll break it all down on the Wake Up Show.
All right, 6:25, time to get to
celebrating.
Boom. Happy birthday going out to Logan. Wishing you a great birthday.
Awesome.
Great pick there, too. Couldn't ask for a better hunting and fishing partner. Love Jennifer.
That picture is awesome.
Yeah, it is. Happy 6th birthday to Jacob. We love you. Love Grandpa and Grandma.
First birthday to Jack. You're the sweetest, funniest little guy. We love you very much.
Happy 2nd birthday, Charlie Marie. You're the little firecracker that sparks our life. We love you. Meemaw, Papa, and Brother Seth.
All these cute little ones. Happy 2nd birthday to Eli from Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, Great-Grandma, Great-Grandpa, and the rest of the family.
And look who's become a teenager today. Happy 13th birthday to Bridget. Love your entire family.
It is birthday number 2. Happy 2nd birthday to Matthew. We love you so much. Love Daddy, Mommy, Papa Craig, Nana Chris, Aunties Brittany, and Ashley.